Do you want to have the biggest iron in the West? Well, welcome to the Wasteland, where today we're going to be taking a look at the biggest iron in New Vegas. Today we're going to be taking a look at the hunting revolver and its unique variant, the Ranger Sequoia, even though there is multiple Ranger Sequoias, so you can actually get a whole lot of them, which is pretty cool. If you want to run to the Ghoul test site right outside Novak, there is one actually located there. I believe you need to get through a average locked door, and then it's next to a skeleton. So you can pick one of these up right away. There's also a gunner's arsenal variant of this, so most vendors can actually sell the hunting revolver, which is really cool. Your main issue, at least in the early game, if you get a hunting revolver, is going to be just finding ammo, because 4570 is not the most common ammo. And so the hunting revolver requires 75 guns and 6 strength in order to wield. It is a big chunky gun. It does require quite a bit of skill in order to use this. This one does 58 damage per shot. It does hit really hard for a handgun, and just really hard in general. It has 87 damage per second, because this one can actually shoot fairly fast, at least for a gun like this. It is a little bit weird to get used to the recoil though, when you see the gun kind of flip up to where you're more on target than what it seems. So it can be a little bit deceptive there, even though it looks like your gun is still kind of like in the air recoiling, but you can spam this somewhat quick. This one has 58 crit damage, same as its regular damage, which is quite high. This one has a 1x crit modifier, so average crits, 31 action points. This one isn't the best to be using in VATS compared to other handguns. We've talked about quite a few that are really good. The hunting revolver is decent, but maybe not the best for that particular role. This one has very low spread. I believe it's the most accurate normal handgun in the game, not counting unique variants, where it has 0.35 spread, so it has a very tight spread. This one only holds 5 rounds in it, because that cylinder cannot hold 6 unless you have the gunner's arsenal version, in which case it can. We'll talk about that here in just one second. This one weighs 4 weight. It is a fairly hefty handgun, although 4 weight still seems a little bit light for something like this with how big it is. I don't know though, I've never held a 4570 revolver, so maybe 4 weight seems accurate to it in real life. This one does have 110 item health, which is okay. It's not the most durable handgun, and it can break pretty quick if you're using the unique rounds in it with the semi-wad cutters, but they're still decent enough. The hunting revolver also always has a scope on it, which is kind of cool. You can't take that off, but the scope is actually pretty nice. This is probably like your sniper of handguns, if you want to just do an only handguns run or something. For the pros of this weapon, it does do really high damage, and it is very accurate. Both of those are really good things about this gun. The main con to this weapon is that it's very rare, though. It's kind of hard to find hunting revolvers, although there are some enemies that do carry them. The Great Khans can carry them, as well as things like the lobotomites can carry them at high levels, which is a little bit scary when they start shooting that at you. But a lot of the time, I just end up buying this or getting the one that I know is in the RepCon facility. There are a couple scattered around the map, though, that you can pick up. So if you can fix them up, you can have a pretty strong weapon. The other, I guess, con to this is just finding 4570, which can be difficult in the early game, but once you're getting into the later part of the game, it's not going to be super hard, because there are a couple vendors that sell a lot of 4570. The Great Khan vendor does, and the NCR at the dam does. So if you go talk to the quartermaster there, you can at least get a decent amount of ammo. There is also one perk that we should talk about for these weapons, and that is Cowboy. Cowboy buffs both these, since they are cowboy revolver style weapons, which is fitting. It does make these very strong, since they get another 25% more damage from that, so that's really cool. And I should also kind of mention that these handguns, you can't sneak into places. They are not a sneak-in handgun. They are too big, too bulky. You're not going to sneak this past any place where you need to get a holdout weapon, so I guess that's a little bit of a con for them too. For the different ammos that we have for the 4570, we have standard 4570 rounds, which do regular damage, and they're probably going to be the most common around. Sometimes, some vendors tend to sell more hollow points than these. I'm not entirely sure why, but you can pick up some of these every once in a while. Like I said, Great Con vendor or the NCR can sell them. You have the hollow point rounds, which give you a lot more damage, but also give the enemy bonus armor. These ones can actually be really good in the hunting revolver, even against armored enemies, because it has so much damage base that you might not even care that it's giving the enemy 3 times the amount of armor. You might if it's like Brotherhood or something where they actually have a lot of armor. But other enemies, you might not. If they only have like 5 armor, the hollow points can still be really good. And then you also have the semi-wad cutter rounds, which you can load into the gun, which give you more damage but break your weapon substantially faster. I love this ammo though. I usually load it into mine. You have to have hand loader in order to get this, but it is a very fun round to be firing through this. It also punches through some armor, I believe. Or maybe that's only the 44. Stats will be up above. For an overall rating for the hunting revolver, I'd put this thing all the way up into A tier. I think it's a solid all-around handgun. It is really good, and it feels really fun to be shooting. It is very powerful. There is also a modded version of this, so we should talk about that really quick. With the Gunner's Arsenal version, you will need to have a Gunner's Arsenal hunting revolver in order to put the mods on, and this one can get 2 mods. It can get a larger cylinder, so it goes from holding 5 shots to 6 shots, as well as it can have a match barrel, which decreases its spread, increasing its accuracy. So its spread goes from 0.35 down to 0.2. making it one of the most accurate handguns in the game, which is really cool. If you want to add these onto there, they are just a bonus to the handgun. You can usually find them at a lot of vendors. A lot of vendors tend to sell these. Although, if you're like me, you might get unlucky and not find that and find hunting shotgun or hunting rifle, not find hunting revolver, or vice versa if you're looking for one or the other. But at least you can look for quite a few vendors because they tend to sell these. I would put the modded version of the hunting revolver also up into A tier. I think it's pretty good. It's not immensely better than the regular one, but it is a nice upgrade overall. And now let's move on to the Ranger Sequoia, probably the most iconic weapon, or one of the most iconic weapons in Fallout New Vegas. So this one you can actually get during a quest. If you want to go do Return to Sender, you're going to have to steal it at the end of that quest, but you can get it, and you can do that at any level. Other than that, the veteran Rangers will also carry this on them, at least usually. And this is like their signature weapon. They usually carry this, the anti-material rifle, and the brush gun. 3 very strong weapons overall. So the Ranger Sequoia does look a bit different than the hunting revolver, and it can't have any of the mods the hunting revolver gets. So you can't put a scope on this, you can't get a bigger cylinder, and you can't put a match barrel on this. But I would argue the Ranger Sequoia really doesn't need it. The iron sights are quite good on this, and I mean the way it looks is just one of my absolute favorite guns in just about any game. This is one of my favorite handguns like ever. So the Ranger Sequoia for stats requires 75 guns and 6 strength, same as the regular hunting revolver. This one does 62 damage per shot, so a little bit more. 105 damage per second, which is pretty good for a weapon like this. Doesn't shoot super quick, but still a lot of DPS because of that high damage. Does 62 damage for crits. Has a 1.5 times crit modifier, so it's more likely to hit crits than the regular hunting revolver, which is good. This one costs 30 action points. I don't know why it costs 1 less action point than a hunting revolver in VATS, but I guess it's a bonus. This one has even less spread, and being the most accurate, at least of the ballistic handguns, at 0.1 spread, so it is extremely accurate. And this one also holds 5 rounds in it, weighs 4 weight, and this one has 150 item health, so it has more item health than the regular hunting revolver, which is pretty good. The Ranger Sequoia, I think, is one of my absolute favorite handguns in any game ever. It feels really good to use, it looks really cool. This mod on here, even though it makes it look cooler, just the regular Ranger Sequoia looks really cool too. It is all around a monster of a gun, and it's one of my favorite handguns to go for in this game. The Ranger Sequoia I would put all the way up into S tier. I think it is a fantastic handgun. So would I recommend the hunting revolver and the Ranger Sequoia? Hunting revolver, yeah, it's quite good, it's quite powerful, as long as you find ammo for it, really good. Ranger Sequoia, absolutely, I love this thing, it looks so cool, it's one of my favorites. And it's super powerful too, which is awesome. Only downside is that you can't sneak these into areas, but I can always sneak in something like Chance's Knife or Lucky if I want to do that too, and then I've got also a pretty good sneak-in weapon, or if I really want to have something like incredibly strong, just a light shining in darkness, which is another one of my favorite handguns in any game. So thank you guys so very much for watching this. Tell me your thoughts on the Ranger Sequoia and the hunting revolver down below. That actually wraps up all the handguns that we have to talk about in New Vegas. And thank you guys so very much for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.